Fasting has been done for centuries all through Europe and has been well known to be a trigger to bring about healing processes in the body. So what I'd like to look at in this presentation is fasting, what it is and the effect that it has on the body. And research is coming out today that is revealing that fasting is doing far more than most people thought. So I'd like to have a look at the different types of fasting. But first of all, what is fasting? Fasting basically in the dictionary says absence of food. Now, food is eaten to give nourishment to every cell in our body. So what happens when we don't fast? Now, as I showed you yesterday, when we went inside the cell, here is the cell, and we have the pathways. We looked at the 20-step pathway, and this 20-step pathway gives us 2 units of energy. This is where glucose goes down. The end result of the 20-step pathway is a chemical form of glucose called pyruvate. Pyruvate is the chemical form of glucose that gets fed into the 8-step pathway. And this 8-step pathway delivers to us 36 units of energy because of the presence of oxygen. Whereas this pathway, no oxygen. So this is your glycolytic pathway, and this is the mitochondria-Krebs cycle pathway. We also looked at the fact that the body also stores glucose like little molecules, just like a little bunch of grapes really. Looks like a little bunch of grapes, but they're little molecules of glucose sitting in the muscle cell particularly, ready to be plucked when no food's coming in. And we also looked at the third place that the liver sends glucose when we eat is as the fat cells. And the fact is that we can go periods of time without eating because we've got these backups. We've got our glycogen stores already in our muscle cell. We've got our fat stores. So we can go periods without eating because there are stores in the background. So what happens when you fast? Well, one type of fasting is absence of food for a period of time. And we look in the Bible, when Israel was being challenged, often the king would go through a period of fasting, and he'd get all the people of Israel together and they would fast and pray, asking God to intervene because the enemy was too big and too great. And there are some amazing stories of how God did that. But often fasting was chosen. You see, 1,200 calories is required to digest a meal. So when you're not digesting a meal, all that blood and energy is going to other areas. And because the brain is headquarters, capital city of the human body, when you need to do some intense thinking, and I guess when Israel was in trouble and they were praying and pleading with God for wisdom, for intervention, then all their body's energies, the body's energies that usually go with digestion were able to go to brain function, help clear mind. You see, when they weren't eating, the body started plucking the glycogen stores and started eating up the fat stores. So fasting has been used for that, but fasting has also been used as a way of healing the body from certain diseases. You see, when you're not digesting, and your brain's not going into intense brain function, the body basically says, wow, this is great. We've got a little bit of extra energy here. We can go to the areas of greatest need. And at our health retreat, our guests go through 2 days of fasting. And in those 2 days of fasting, we give them juices because juices bypass digestion. Well, basically, I think digestion takes about 10 minutes.